Hi, it's Mike with AskTractorMike.com. I've got a viewer letter today that I'm going to answer about distribution. In other words, what happens when the local dealer goes out of business? And I'm going to look at it two different ways. Number one, what happens to the people that have bought the products that they have offered, and now they're not going to have a source for parts and service locally. And number two, if a dealer's going out of business, is it an opportunity for somebody that wants a tractor to get a bargain? Most of you that watch my channel probably know I was a territory manager for AGCO Corporation, which is parent company of Massey Ferguson, and had to look for dealers or distribution outlets all around southwest Missouri. And then following that job, I was a manager of a New Holland dealership. So I've been around the block a time or two when talking about dealers going in and out of business, and know some of the ins and outs I'll share with you today. Let's get to the letter first. And the letter comes from John. And John says, I've been looking at new tractors with a plan of buying a new one in the spring. Friday, I went to visit a dealer about an hour from my house. They were down to just two tractors that were bigger than what I'm looking for, and said they were doing away with tractor sales. And once those two tractors were gone, they weren't getting any more. That was an immediate red flag that I didn't want to deal with them. But I got to thinking, what about the people who have recently purchased a tractor there? Would they be better off trading their tractors for something at another dealer where they were sure they would get parts and service support, or should they just ride it out? It's important to note that this place wasn't going out of business, just going to be selling zero-turn mowers and outdoor power tools. And can I quote your answer on my YouTube channel, Equally Yoked Farm? Thanks, John. Well, yeah, John, you can quote my answer anywhere you want to. Anytime any of you want to share any of my videos, I don't have a problem with that. So first off, I want to go into what happened with John's dealer. When I was a territory manager for AGCO, we were constantly visiting anybody that would listen to us. We'd go to feed stores and industrial dealers and lawn and garden places, any place that we thought might handle our product. To try to get distribution, because I had a few places where we needed a dealer, didn't have one. And so as a territory man, you're out there looking for someone to be your dealer, and a lawn and garden guy looks like, on paper, a good place to have a tractor dealer. And there's some reasons why it looks good, and it should be good. Number one, if you've got a place out in the country, you probably got a zero turn, and you'll have a tractor too. So, I mean, the clientele, there is quite a bit of overlap in the clientele. Number two, if you're a lawn and garden dealer, you've got a parts department that stocks parts. They've probably got a good computer system for looking them up that may interface with whatever tractor dealership you're looking at. And you've got a service department. That's the good news. The bad news for lawn and garden people is a couple of things. Number one, your service department that works on small gas engines works on just that, small gas engines. Tractors got diesel engines and hydraulic systems and PTOs that lawnmowers don't have. And, the things you need in a tractor shop to change a clutch or do something like that are a little bit different than what you need for a zero turn. You can pick the entire zero turn up on a hoist or lift and sharpen the blades and do anything you need to it. On a tractor, it's a little different situation. So that's one reason that the two markets are different. But the main reason the two markets are different is guys that sell lawnmowers generally make better margins on them. It's not uncommon to make 18, 20, 22, maybe 25% when you sell a zero-turn mower. And generally those prices are not negotiable. They're set by the manufacturer. And with a compact tractor, you generally don't make anywhere near that kind of margin, unless it's COVID times and inventory is tight. So John, to answer your question, a couple of things I would look at. First off, where is the next dealer? John was mentioning that this dealer was about an hour away from him. And if the dealers are much further apart than an hour, then I would consider over a period of time getting rid of that tractor and trying to get something different. The other thing I would look at is if I did my own work on the tractor, and this manufacturer or vendor, whatever company it was that made the tractor, had an online parts lookup, and they could ship the parts to me and I was pretty confident I wasn't going to be, every year having the tractor tuned up at the dealership, I wouldn't even think about it. I'd just keep the tractor and not worry about it too much. It does take a lot of time to figure out what you want in a different brand and look at the options and all of that, and your time is worth something. So I would definitely not do anything right now, but otherwise, another option for you, if there is a dealer and they're a strong dealer and they're a little bit further away, is buying a little trailer. The pounding you'll take in resale value, and resale value does go down when you lose your local dealer, at least in that area. Buying a little trailer and buying a winch, and if something happens to the tractor, you can load it up and take it to them. You may want to go that way. Depends on how much work you want to put in if you have a failure that needs to go back to the dealer. Generally compact tractors, especially new ones, don't need a lot of service, and they generally won't have a catastrophic failure. So if let's say the brand has a 4-year warranty on their tractors, and I've had it for a year, and my local dealer goes out, I wouldn't worry about it till it was out of warranty. Now, warranty does not cover shipping back and forth to the dealership, but I would feel comfortable to keep that equipment. What I wouldn't do is immediately the day that dealer goes out of business, when it's fresh in everybody's mind, is go trade that tractor, because that is when you're going to be at your worst position. Now, a couple of things could happen. Number one, I'm sure if it's an area that sells a lot of tractors, that whichever brand this is, they're going to be looking for a new dealer. And if the old dealer got out a lot of inventory, where the real money is in the tractor business is in parts and service. So if they sold a lot of tractors in the area, there's a real incentive for this manufacturer to get another dealer back in quickly. And there's existing field inventory in place for them to sell parts and service for. So if they got out a lot of inventory, the manufacturer will be looking for a replacement, and hopefully before the warranty runs out on the existing inventory, they'll find somebody. It's hard to find somebody that wants to be in the tractor business. You need a guy with a pile of money that's sitting around, that doesn't mind a fairly low return on investment, and just loves tractors. And there's a few people like that out there, but darn few. Now, one thing I did want to address in this video, because I'm always looking at it as a customer, what if you've got a dealer that goes out of business and they've got a bunch of inventory? Is that a time you could pick up a bargain? Well, in John's case, this dealer has 2 tractors on his lot that he'd probably deal on, and likely they're in dealer-paid inventory. Most of your manufacturers, especially your smaller ones, not so much the Deeres and the Kubotas anymore, but a lot of your manufacturers will floor plan a tractor. In other words, they own it, and you have it on your lot interest-free for a period. And then after that period of interest-free runs out, then you start paying curtailments, which are a percentage of the whole, until you pay off the tractor. While that tractor is in the manufacturer's inventory, under most state laws, if they go out of business, the manufacturer has to buy those tractors back or take them back at whatever the original invoice price was. Now, if they're in dealer-paid inventory, and sometimes if they've got some hours on it, like they've been rented out, they don't have to take them back. So if they've got 2 tractors on their lot and they weren't able to return them to the manufacturer, they might be willing to deal on them. You might get a bargain. But again, you're going to have to deal with the fact that there's not that many dealers really close for that particular brand anymore. So John, to finally answer your question, I'd be a little leery about buying a tractor from a manufacturer who doesn't have good distribution in my area. I think you're wise to do that. But for the people that have the brand, hang on to it and see what happens. If you're really worried, get a trailer and a winch, and I think everything will be fine. This is a common problem in the business. Generally, the worst place you'll be for resale value will be right after the dealer closes, when it's fresh in everybody's mind. And if you give it a little bit of time, they get somebody else set up, you may not take any kind of a loss at all if you want to resell the tractor. I appreciate you watching my videos. I would be honored if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can do that by clicking the mic face icon, and make sure you check the bell so you get notified when I post future videos. Here's a link to my website and the Tractor Fund Store with cool things for sale for the tractor owner. It helps support my channel. And here's another couple videos you might want to watch. Thanks for watching.